All right, good morning. Today we are finally going to the Act 3 of our book, The Last Laugh. By now, I should be expecting you to have read the entire book. And as you go for holidays, JS students grade 9, how are you? Now that you are preparing for the exam that is forthcoming, regardless of the opposition that is faced against your exam, be ready for it because you can never tell. Yeah, so let's be set for a discussion on Act 3 of our book, The Last Laugh. We are going to read as we discuss. So Act 3 has 3 scenes, Scene 1, Scene 2, and Scene 3. So we shall have to go through the 3 scenes. Beginning with Scene 1, it happens on page 26. What happens here? We begin with the setting. So it's a day later after the previous act, and it's early in the morning. We are sitting on a remarkable front porch, and we can actually see the 4 corners of the porch that are gracefully dressed with rocking chairs. You know, Orwa is a rich man, so what do you expect of him? Have you ever seen a rocking chair? If you've not seen, then I would invite you to check on internet and see what a rocking chair means. In the middle of the porch, there is a small table. Of course, it has flowers just like the previous part, and the flowers are in a pot. There is a laptop beside the flower pot. It is just placed on a small table. And there's a video that Oka is watching. Do you remember who Oka is? I hope you remember Oka is the son to Orwa. Oka is in deep thoughts. So he's swinging this rocking chair, and he does not notice when Kola, the sister, walks in and sits just beside him. Now Kola asks if Oka has seen or heard what the mother said, and what actually did he do? Mr. Wahama, if you have unruly house. So what exactly are you trying to say? Let me get it clearly. Welcome on board for those who are coming live. Okay, so Oka laughs sarcastically. So as he laughs sarcastically and asks Kola whether she wants them to take Ami's path because they are blinded, Kola says they should not think of converting Ami to their thoughts. It is too late. Of course, this is somebody who is above 18. Could you really change such a person? Now Oka laughs, and Kola is surprised. Yeah? So Oka doesn't see how they can actually just let things be. If they have to save the workers who are being oppressed or suppressed on that farm, they have to do it. So Kola thinks that Oka is just taking everything for a ride, you know? He's not taking things as serious as they should be. He's taking things for granted. Now, Oka says they cannot assume anything because the society has something to do with what you have to do. Yeah? Kola says they should stop the nonsense. And Oka says she shouldn't call it nonsense because the truth stands tall. Yeah? If they defy what the grown-ups know as a law and the prophets, then Ami cannot be an exception. Even though he's driving good cars, eating good food, he's smartly dressed, he's going to good schools. Yeah? Everybody else would want the share of this money. And Ami, of course, wouldn't want to be exempted from it. That's why he would behave as he would. So Kola says that Ami is their brother, and therefore they cannot just avoid talking to him. But Oka thinks that if they light a lamp for him, he can't see. He's used too much to the lifestyle that they have been experiencing for some time, and therefore, of course, he cannot see. So that is the brief Scene 1 from page 26 up to 27. When we go to Scene 2, it is the same day, but now unlike early morning in the previous scene, this is late morning. Yeah, it is the same place, the porch. Oka and Kola are now having coffee, and Kola really says the coffee tastes good. And Oka reminds her, this is the sweat of the poor workers, mind you. Sam, you say, hey, I'm your new subscriber. Welcome on board, Sam. And you're saying lots of love for you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on board, because without you subscribers, then what am I? Welcome and stay tuned. So let's continue discussing scene 2 and let's see what we'll get from it. Yeah, so Kola says, of course they enjoy all they enjoy because of their father. That is Odwa. And Oka says, okay, but can we see what is happening? Now we have footsteps approaching the place and we don't know exactly who is it. Oka says it is Ami. And of course now remember they were talking about Ami. Now as Ami comes by, yeah, he doesn't care at all, you know, the rich kid, yeah? So he greets the two, calling Kola my baby sister, and Kola of course nods the head, but she twists the lips. Do you know when somebody twists the lips, it's like, huh, what do you mean? All right, so let's see what will happen later. So Ami, you know, Oka addresses Ami telling him, I want to talk to you. And Ami is like, go to the backyard inside my car. There is my tie and jacket. Bring them over the room. Then go and clean the car. That is addressing a worker. Are you seeing that kind of language? It's about orders, no request, right? That is rich kids for you. So when we go on, we see that this worker is Nyata. Nyata is being addressed. It seems that unlike other workers who are freed, Nyata was not. Yeah, so Oka is like, excuse me, I mean, were you doing any work before Ami called you? So Oka is stopping the worker from doing what Ami is ordering him to do. And so Nyata is a worker who is used to slavery conditions, servitude kind of. So he says, yes, I was mending a shirt. So Oka orders him to go on with his work instead of stopping just to fit in the program of Ami who has just come in. And Ami is like, let him clean that car. I'll be off to a party, you know, a party. So a party becomes a very important thing that Ami should stop the worker from mending a shirt and go clean the car. All right. So Oka then says, see, it was not to be a surprise to hear Ami ordering, Nyata, open the door. I want to go to the toilet. Nyata, close the door. I'm through. Nyata, carry my wife to the bedroom. She looks tired, you see? So this is Oka who is sarcastic about what the kind of decisions or the lifestyle that Ami has. So then, through this interruption, Ami cuts in angrily, telling Oka to stop acting tough. And now Kola tells him, Ami, do not be deceived into thinking that things never change. Nyata, go and do your work. So Kola is just reminding the brother that things have changed, all right? That in the farm, no worker will be suppressed. Yeah? So Ami does not understand, and Oka has to make him understand what is going on. You know? Oka tells him, a man grows in two ways, brain-wise and age-wise. Yeah? And he tells him, you have to stand upon an issue at some point. Ami is very irritated. Yeah? And Oka is like, okay, stay cool and listen to what we have to tell you. It is wicked for us to walk on the roads filled with thorns and pitfalls. We should value the lives of others. So, Ami does not understand where this stupidity is coming from. And we see that Kola makes things easier for the brother and tries to explain that they should be gentle, you know, to the workers. And Oka, of course, says, remember David managed Goliath? So we, the tiny tots, can also control you, you know? Like Oka is trying to tell him, we may be young, that we can give you advice, right? We can control you. That is scene 2 for you, from 28 to 30. Now come to scene 3. It's a bit longer than the other two. My live stream was cut short by the exit of bundles, but I'm proceeding. We were just going to scene 3. And of course, scene 3, the same day, in the porch. Now Orwa, the father of the 3 kids, is back. Lord Kelvin, welcome on board. Your question is, are you from Nigeria? Do I sound like Nigeria? Listen carefully, because I don't sound like from Nigeria, because I know friends from Nigeria and they don't speak like me. I'm from Kenya. Yeah, so how are you, Lord Ken? Where are you from? Are you from Nigeria? All right, so let me proceed with the discussion of The Last Laugh. If you've not bought it, whichever country you come from, you can buy this book by Robinson Ocharo. It's quite informative and entertaining. Yeah, so scene 3, same day, evening, in the porch. Oro is now at home, right? And of course, the entire family sits. Oro is still very angry. You remember the fury he had in the previous act, Act 2? Yeah, so he's very angry, and he's addressing the kids, telling him, this is my home, and until I'm laid in the final resting place, nobody has the power over all that is in it. And Kola is like, but father. And Ora says, do you and your brother know that? So we see Tai intervening. Of course, Tai always intervenes. Tai is the wife to Orwa. And mom, Ami says, it was great, mom, because of course, Tai had not seen the son, but now she's greeting, and the son, responds. Now, as we proceed, of course, Orwa is telling the son, Ami, that he should ask Nyata to provide the girlfriend with whatever she would want, everything she would want, drinks, food, and of course she should be placed in the sitting room to see the 84-inch television. Did you hear that? 84-inch television, and the stereo system, and the piano, and the swimming pool, the library, right? Those are the pleasantries that Orwa has. Now, Ami, of course, says, no, father, I've been a bit busy. Now, Orwa tells him not to explain much, that he understands. And of course, as we proceed, we see that they are trying to inform Ami what has happened, and they are trying to tell Oka to explain that in details. Orwa says that we have rules, but now this son has decided to be soft-hearted and contributed to the acts that have made our farm to be, unruly. Yeah. So Orwa also tells everybody that now that the workers have gone, nothing is happening on the farm. And the freeing of the workers is the idea of Oka and Kola. So then, Ami is surprised. He was not aware of what was happening. So he's like, Oka, maybe your age does not allow you to understand these things. But you cannot just free a person from laboring from his life and telling him that now you are free. You have to provide him with everyday needs, Ami has the same ideology with that of their parents, who believe that if you provide somebody with food, that's all, right? So then Oka says he did not just free the workers to sit idly and enjoy. They had their interests, and they were not to fight for the rights from the farm. It would become a scandal for the family. And so Ami, he tells Ami, don't they breathe the same oxygen as us, Oka has a different ideology and thinks that the people who have the same blood chemistry and oxygen like them should have the same privileges. So we see that Oka tells the brother to be sober and understand the need to free the workers so that they are not in chains, right? So Ami doesn't understand why the brother is defending illiterate fellas. And Kola is like, okay, why are they illiterate if not for the colonialism aspect that has made them to be driven into that? Now Orwa is like, Kola, are you saying I'm a vampire? You know, he doesn't trust that the daughter can actually collaborate with the Oka to talk about him in an ill manner. Now, Kola says, no, but father, you cannot use the same whip on your own skin. The fact that your brother does not know how to read or write does not mean that he is kept in the dark. Yeah, so according to Kola, if you make the workers not to have education or better life, it's like you're using the same whip that you experience on them. Ami disregards this because he thinks that the darkness they encounter is because they never tried to get out of it. And always like, okay, so if you think you'll have a better life by defending them, let's see what kind of person you'll marry. Will you marry an oppressed person? Now Tai is there trying to make them not argue, but it seems things are not working. Then Oka says, my dear father and brother, maybe the poor people do not have God to dedicate their prayers to. They need to pray in their poverty. The poor people's prayer. It is said that the man who shuts his ears to the cries of the poor shall be ignored in the time of need. Okay? So he's trying to remind the father and the brother that the riches they have are God-given. And because they are God-given, they should handle them and also handle the workers with the care that is expected. Yeah, because they are just born on the same soil and they deserve the same care that they are having. Ora is quite upset for being reminded of that and says, don't I provide them with food, clothing, and housing? And Oka is actually looking at them and tells them, now look at this video. There's a video he had been watching, remember? Yeah, and now he tells them, you should offer these people education, you should offer them security, you should offer them care, yeah? Because if you provide them with food, clothing, and shelter, it's just a short-lived aspect that will not actually serve them. Orwa is quite annoyed and is like, Oka, you know it is not easy to inherit all these farms, cars, tractors, planters, harvesters, and houses from the colonialists. My father fought for it. I'm the current commander. And when my time expires, which is a long time from now, I'll hand all the riches down to Army Cole and you. So he's just trying to blackmail the kids that you should keep quiet because this property that is being under my care will become yours. So what is the serious issue about it? So finally we end the scene by seeing Kola insisting that even though we inherit, but it should be obtained not from other people's sweat, yeah, and their rights should be considered. Yeah, so Orwa shouts, yeah, telling the son not to call him father because if he has decided to be rebellious, then he should not dare call him father. These are matters that look like they're complex, but I think as I explain more, it becomes easier because you understand from the perspectives of different people. Orwa as a father who has been taking care of the poor workers in an ill manner, and the son, that is Oka, alongside the daughter, Kola, who feel like the workers deserve better treatment, especially they deserve to be given long-term provisions like education, security, better salaries, not just food, clothing, and shelter. On the other hand, Ami, the elder son, plus Tai, plus Orwa, believe that workers should remain as they are because they have not fought for better opportunities. They did not inherit through their fathers, and they have the basic needs after all. So that is the discussion on Act 3, Scene 1 up to 3. I hope you'll have a nice day. In case you get more time to listen to this, you are free to do so. I am very appreciative for Sam and Lord Kelvin, Wahma, and others who came on board. Some did not engage in a chat, so I did not know who they are, but I'm so happy. Thank you. Have a nice day.